Hi, everybody. It's Tim France and Lauren Vicker again for Making Team Projects Work. And today we're going to be talking about communication in the team. So, Tim, I know you've got your first week of classes starting up. How's it going there?
First week is always busy, but Lauren, the worst part, and let me tell you, the weather here in Rochester once again is all gray and drizzly. It's another awful week. I am so disgusted by this ongoing cold, rainy weather.
You think that's bad. I'm living in Arizona where we came for the sunshine and we had so much rain this week. We had 2 full days of rain. We even had a marathon start with a driving rain at 6 a.m. on
Well,
Sunday. So
you
that was
you
just
think
really hard,
you
really
think
hard.
that's bad. I've also had a week where we had all the kids home, which was nice, but now two of them have gone back to college. It's so frustrating, to be a parent and watch those kids go away again. Now,
Well, it's interesting because my daughter actually lives in Santa Cruz County in California, and they have had, some torrential rains and mudslides. And it just seems like it's okay. So what's happening here, Tim? Are we
so,
communicating?
so communication, verbal communication this week, and you can see that Lauren and I were clearly violating one of the core roles of verbal communication, one of the core requirements, which is active listening, paying attention, not hijacking the conversation, which we were doing back and forth and making it selfish, but instead listening to others. Lauren?
Listening, really, really important skill. We really don't emphasize it enough. There are a couple of other things that we really need to keep in mind. One is that in verbal communication, we use different forms of language. People might use different words to express themselves. And this again stresses the importance of feedback. We talked about that a lot last week when we talked about nonverbal, but you need to check your perceptions with the other person and say, is this really what you meant? Did you really mean to say that? And make sure that you're both on the same page. And one other area that I want to mention that really makes me crazy is people not using what we call team speech when they're talking about their team projects. So rather than saying, we as a team developed this plan, or we worked on this, or we did research on this, I hear students in presentations going, when I did the research on this, or when I worked on the data analysis. And as a professor, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, so you each divided it up and nobody knew what the other person was doing until you put it all together in a presentation. So using what we call team speech, using we and us in order to make it seem like you are a cohesive team. Those are really important skills to have.
Yeah, and that TeamSpeak one, absolutely essential for students, but I'm going to generalize here because I see a lot of professionals who are working on a project together switching to that individual selfish speech. They're in a team. It's all of us together. It's we. It's us. It's the team doing things. It makes it so much more inclusive and
Right,
participative. And
right.
so this is verbal communication this week. Lauren?
Right. And you can read more in our blog post this week. And next week, we're actually going to be talking about communicating with a team online. And we're doing so much more remote work. I think both people in academia as well as in the professional world are going to find this really helpful.
Great. Well, look forward to seeing you again on the Making Team Projects Work video blog next week, Lauren.
Thanks, Tim.